welcome back to The Broke Digger Gaming. Today we are doing things a little differently. We're reviewing cross-reviewing two excellent twin-stick shooters, The Endless Dungeon and Dreadhunter. In my opinion, these two twin-stick shooters are probably the best of recent years, certainly since the release of The Ascent. The review, as you saw from the thumbnail, is more skewed towards PC handheld, specifically my Asus Ally Extreme, as I believe both games are absolutely brilliant. Perfect games for handheld gaming and generally performed very well on the system. I have used a combination of gameplay from the Asus Ally directly, which you will see shows various tech stats and FPS stats right next thanks to Asus Ally inbuilt monitor of in-game and handheld performance. Both games were played at basic 720p bursts, with it being upscaled to 1080p through AMD FSR 2.0 in the specific game's display setting. As you will see, both games kept near constant 60 FPS with the occasional dips in early to mid 50s in high settings. I have used also footage played directly off my PC for clarity and improvement for viewers, comfort, and to get the best look in regards to reviewing this game on YouTube. First, a brief description of both games. Endless Dungeon is a tactical action game developed by Amplitude Studios, which leans more towards tower defense than roguelite and is simply more involved compared to Dreadhunter. Although this is in no way criticism, merely an indication that while both are twin-stick shooters, Endless Dungeons is more involved, while Dreadhunter is definitely more of an arcade blast and first, ask questions later shooter. With eye candy, isometric graphics and an appealing soundtrack, the game promises an enjoyable dungeon crawling experience with a diverse cast of heroes to choose from. The hub world is quite deeply involved and expands as you progress through the story and meet new characters and teammates to either help you or who you can control at a flick of a button in the game. The game's story and lore is actually quite in-depth and worth exploring as much as possible. I personally found the tidbits of lore quite interesting, even more so than in some full-on AA, AAA games. The basic premise is that of a group of refugees who have gathered in a saloon that serves as a hub world, and there's an enemy hacker messing things up. The ragtag group, with many different backgrounds and personal quirks, fights its way through various floors of a space facility to reach this hacker, while escorting and protecting a critter called the Crystal Bot. Protecting this bot is paramount. If the bot dies, it's game over and back to the hub world. The game, being a tower defense shooter, relies on you using your smarts by choosing the best paths through the level while setting up defenses of turrets, which can be modified in a variety of ways to either stop or slow down an advancing enemy horde. You are able to keep your buddy AI with you, or ask them to stay in a certain room to protect valuable equipment, or to annihilate the bugs coming at you at a strategic location while you run around plugging gaps in other areas. Dreadhunter is also a twin-stick shooter action game published and developed by Trickster Arts. It is a RPG hybrid where you can play as a spacefaring monster hunter taking on bounties to kill monsters, armed with various makes of weapons from blasters to shotguns and a high-tech mech suit. You'll be tasked to cut down waves of alien beasts and otherworldly terrors. Your character is able to upgrade or change various parts of their suit and weapons, including modding items you can find in the world or pay for in the hub world. You explore the environment for loot that contains new weapons, abilities and upgrades to help you take on gigantic bosses, each one more challenging than the last. In addition, the levels you explore are procedurally generated, meaning all loot and enemies you find will be different each time you enter a new floor or start a new playthrough. This is also the same for Endless Dungeon. One thing, apart from being a lot more action focused, Dreadhunter is orientated with more speed to your movement and gameplay, as is the music, which thumps bass, heavy techno beats, almost playing in time as you dive, dash, strike, shoot, and dash again from enemy to enemy. At the time of review, Dreadhunter is in early access and contains the first act of the campaign, the core gameplay, and approximately 40 items to customize your character with. The game is due to release in the last quarter of 2023, so anytime now. Although this is Still an EA, in my personal experience with the game, it is definitely able to be reviewed in unison with Endless Dungeons. Both games complement themselves perfectly, and I was quite happy to play and continue to play them both in unison on my Asus Ally. For the record, Endless Dungeon lasts approximately 56 minutes on full charge in turbo mode, unplugged on my Ally, while Dreadhunter managed just over an hour. Both games, unlike others I have tried on my Ally, worked perfectly from the get-go, had zero crashes, at least so far, and I have found not a single game-breaking bug. This is high praise, especially for Dreadhunter, as it's still in early access. So, both twin-tick shooters, both good. What separates them both is very simple. One is a arcadey blast them first, ask questions later game, has a very small basic hub world and storyline geared towards action, but plays phenomenally, reminding me of twin stick shooters of the old, especially the Ascent. The visuals, while not breathtaking, are more than serviceable. The performance is excellent on the Ally. This is the same for Endless Dungeon. Of course, on PC these games absolutely fly, just due to their nature of being top-down, relatively basic, if I can call it that, in graphical terms. This is not a point of negativity whatsoever. Endless Dungeon appears to have a little bit more depth and colour to it, and I absolutely adore the story and lore and the characters you meet and play with as you continue exploring the locked off station. While one is in early access, Dreadhunter, if the devs continue on this trajectory, we will have a great twin stick shooter, perfect for most handhelds as well as PCs. Endless Dungeon is already there and has generally received very high praise in its review. It's a rarity for a story and lore to grip me, especially in a AA twin stick shooter, but it has certainly done that. If I were to give any negatives, it would be to the repetitive nature of some of the level design, especially in Dreadhunter, but you know, this is part and parcel of rogue like meta progression and random level generation games. Therefore, I give Endless Dungeon an 8.5 out of 10, and the early access version of Dreadhunter an even 8 out of 10. Looking forward to seeing the full version, definitely. Regardless, you will not go wrong with either or both of these games if you're into these types of twin stick shooters and own a handheld console. Again, my Asus Ally performance was near flawless, with drops here and there during the more chaotic scenes. So there we are. Hope you enjoyed this little double review. I thought it would do them both at once because they both complement each other so well in different ways and are well worth the entry point of 50 Australian dollars, which is 31 US for Dreadhunter, and under 40 Australian dollars, which is 25 US for Endless Dungeon, both on Steam. As always, thank you for watching my review. If you liked, maybe consider thumbing up, sharing and subscribing to the channel. In a little over 2 months, we started with 0 subs. 10 weeks later, we are well over 5k, which I am extremely and very thankful for. I will continue to do my best to give you the best and the most honest reviews and unboxings available to me. PS, a big thank you to Veteran Gaming Australia and its CEO for me being part of his organisation and being there together, helping ex-defence veterans as well as each of us can. Veteran Gaming Australia is LinkedIn and you can search for them there. You can also find their website on the LinkedIn profile in case anyone is interested or is a veteran who has not seen or heard of this organisation. I urge you to have a look. There is a large proportion of veterans and ex-veteran gamers going through both physical and mental health issues who come together in the spirit of the greatest hobby that there is, video gaming. Again, thank you for watching and I will see you next time. Bye for now. Thanks for watching the video until the end. If you liked it, subscribe and leave me a comment